21. Well, we always hear about the rookie wall, Grant, but some players seem to claim it's a myth.
Well, you know, B.A., I think it's real for most first-year players. Adjusting to the length and intensity of an NBA season can be exhausting, but some guys will be able to break through that wall.
The starters for Utah. They've got Sviatoslav Mikhailuk, Lauri Markkanen out there with Jusuf Nurkic. Then there's George, and it's Sensabaugh in at the shooting guard position.
Not stopping Vucevic that time, powering through the defenders.
Here's Mikhailuk. Looking at his numbers, currently he's averaging around 9 points a game.
He's consistent from out there, especially when you give him that kind of room.
Pass to Buzelis. Outside Jones. Vucevic, a screen on George. Jones from outside. It's hauled in by Sensabaugh. All right, on the line, we've got our insider, Shams Charania. What do you have for us, Shams?
Thanks. Well, it took a while this summer, but the Bulls were finally able to get an extension done with their bright young point guard, Josh Giddey. In a buyer's market, they could afford to bargain for a team-friendly deal. And after some overreaches in the past, their disciplined approach stands out.
A good strategy. Thank you, Shams. Here's White. He gets it in there.
Attacking the heart of that defense. What I like about White, he can finish with either hand.
George passes to Nurkic. And here's Markkanen. To the paint. And Markkanen with the stuff.
How about the bounce?
We can call that bounce per ounce. Can't be denied. It's Vucevic, high post. Okoro outside. From deep. Drops in the three.
Nice ball movement there. Delivered the pass right on time.
Let's check in with our reporter, Allie LaForce.
I caught up with head coach Billy Donovan. He told me when he was watching film of their opponent, what stood out was Lauri Markkanen's efficiency. Coach said Markkanen doesn't need high usage to be effective. He gets a lot of his points off of movement, and he brings versatility to this offense. Yeah.
Okay, good stuff. Thank you, Allie. And so here is Chicago, following the bucket by Utah. White, good.
You see the attack mindset of Kobe White. Knew he'd have company.
George passes to Markkanen. And Markkanen with the stuff.
Oh, I love that possession for them, ending with an assisted bucket.
For Chicago, they've gone 4 of 5 so far, looking sharp. George against Jones. Down low. And the power finish by Vucevic.
Doing exactly what you expect. Vuce setting a solid screen that gets things going.
George outside. Here's Markkanen. Chicago with a rebound.
Probably not the shot they had in mind, but you can't fault him. He had a clean look.
Well, Lauri Markkanen comes from a family full of athletes, Grant.
Oh, yes, indeed, B.A. Lauri's mom and dad were both pro basketball players, and so was one of his brothers. And his other brother is a professional soccer player, so it definitely runs in the family.
And so Will Hardy calls the timeout. We might see him looking to make some tweaks to the strategy. changes for Chicago. Dosunmu comes in for Okoro, and Herder's subbed in for Jones. .111 left to play in the first quarter. Jazz trail by 4. Here's Collier. He's averaging just around 8.5 points a game. Outside Love. Just 5 to shoot. Here's Bailey. That one no good. Good defense by Dosunmu. It's Herder on the wing. Covered by Love. Pass to Vucevic. Here's Buzelis. For 3. Buries it from 3.
And with a smooth shot like that, I expect Buzelis to hit a ton of three-pointers during his career.
Bailey, the pass to Filipowski. Utah moving the ball around. And the dunk to finish it off. A beauty.
He knew exactly where his man was going to be. Outstanding lead pass.
White. And Chicago again with a bucket.
With the pace he plays at, White should look to use the mid-range more.
Lets it go from deep. He drops it from range.
A quality pass, setting up a quality shot. It's just textbook basketball.
Good scoring in this one as we conclude the first quarter. Chicago ahead. They're up by 4. And we'll be back in just a minute with the start of the second quarter. And for those of you just tuning in, second quarter action is where we are. And guys, let's get your take on the scoring breakdown for Chicago.
I've really been impressed with how aggressive they've been inside, looking to capitalize from the paint whenever they can.
Yeah, also, you got to appreciate how unselfish they've been. I mean, the ball movement has been impressive, and the assist numbers are off the chart.
They've got Jalen Smith, Ayo Dosunmu out there with Patrick Williams. Then there's Kevin Herder, and it's Carter in at the point guard position. That's the Bulls 5 as we get into the second quarter. And it's Utah with the ball, following the three-point basket by Chicago. And that's out of bounds. Last touch by Filipowski. We've talked about this before. Rhythm is so important to a jump shooter. Take Kevin Herder, for example, RJ.
Yeah, Kevin is a great example. His ability to be shifty, to create a few dribbles before launching, that's the key to his game, and not everyone has it.
Utah making a switch here. Hendricks is checked in. Now here's Dosunmu. Still no points. Picked by Smith. Herder from long range. And it's out of bounds. Still Chicago's ball. And as teams are grinding through their schedules, let's see how it's going out east. You look at Chicago, middle part of the year, they're in 10th place. They need to put together some wins.
When I look at Chicago, they're really doing their best to rise through the rankings. Time will tell whether they can pull it off.
And you have to wonder if this roster can get to that next level. They have talent, but if it doesn't come together, they might have to shake it up.
Vucevic is checked in for Smith. Okoro comes in for Herder, and it's Trey Jones in for Carter.
Let's hear it for all our dancers.
Here in the second quarter, a little over a minute of play. Dosunmu, the pass to Williams. Okoro outside. 4 on the clock. From downtown, the Bulls with another miss. Jazz trail by 5. Here's Collier. Soft touch off the glass. Collier's got his first points of the night. In this league, you've got to have moves and counter moves. Grant, your toolkit was pretty complete coming in.
Well, I tried to keep adding to it. It's like baseball. If they're struggling to hit your heater, that changeup will work even better.
And that one hits the back iron. Here's Bailey, giving this team some energy, averaging a little over 10 points a game. Kicks it to George. Jacks up a 3, drills it from deep. George has got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3.
And there's a nice rhythm to his three-point shot. George has a confident stroke.
Back to Jones. Chicago passing it around. Here's Okoro. That's good, and it's Jones with the assist. Okoro's got 5 now.
Credit their discipline. They've been working for high percentage shots.
And so Will Hardy calls the timeout. I think right now he might be looking at some adjustments. And you look for bright spots in this developing core for Utah, Grant. What stands out?
Well, I think it's the front court, B.A. You have 2 gifted scoring forwards in Markkanen and Bailey. Then you've got Walker Kessler, an elite shot blocker, manning the middle.
3, 1, 2, go!
Ellis is checked in for Williams. Then for Utah, Nurkic is checked in for Filipowski. Markkanen comes in for Hendricks. And Mikhailuk subbed in for Collier. And we're just over 2.5 minutes into the second. Pass to Mikhailuk. Here's Bailey. Now George, 6 to shoot. That one's good for 2. George has got 5 points now this quarter.
Love to see that kind of activity. He just makes things happen.
Jones sets a screen. Here's Buzelis, 15 in his last outing. Dosunmu outside.
2 minutes.
Here's Vucevic, and that one's long. The Jazz have gotten off to a perfect 4-for-4 start of the second. Pass to Nurkic. Now here's Markkanen. Here's Mikhailuk. Markkanen outside. George for 3. Chicago with a rebound. They come into this one having outplayed the Mavericks last time out.
Oh, man, they were in total control, really doing anything they wanted. It was that level of dominance.
It really is fun seeing an offensive function like a well-oiled machine. I'll be interested to see if they can keep doing this.
When you talk about Nikola Vucevic, a big man who continues to get it done at a high level, Richard.
Yeah, he is showing no signs of slowing down. Vooch scores, rebound, passes, and shoots it well from pretty much everywhere. I'd like to see him contend for a championship at some point in time in his career.
Here's Buzelis. Checking the numbers, he's averaging close to 15 a game. Vucevic, the pass to Okoro. That one falls, coming off the Vucevic feed. Vucevic has got 3 assists now in this one. Jazz trail by 4. Pass to Bailey. Here's Markkanen from the arc. Yes! Markkanen from deep.
And offensively, Markkanen is in the zone. He's using his size well, and the defense hasn't had an answer.
3-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Here's Vucevic. Rebounded by Nurkic.
So far this quarter, he's been out of sync and might be pressing right now.
And here's Markkanen. Takes a 3. It doesn't go for him. And we're through the first half of play here in what's been a good one. Chicago ahead. They're up by 1. And we'll be right back after halftime for the start of the third quarter. See you in just a bit.
Welcome, everyone, to halftime. The Chicago Bulls find themselves in a good matchup here at the break.
Love that they're taking high percentage shots, and it hasn't been easy for them. It's hard to score inside when the defense is collapsing on you.
Who needs three-pointers anyway?
Kenny did.
So thank you, Ernie.
And time now to swing it around as we take a look at the upcoming schedule.
And looking at the Rockets matchup, they're going to be tested on both ends. But we're talking to these guys. They're ready for it. They're hyped, man. This one could have a playoff feel, Ernie.
Our viewers would love that. So would we.
That was a good job, Kenny.
Thank you.
Thanks, as always, for watching. Let's head back to Brian Anderson and crew for the start of the second half.
We're halfway through this one. Plenty of basketball left in a game that's been a fairly even one. It's been quite a game for Lauri Markkanen.
They've leaned on him to provide a lot of offense, and that's how he likes it.
He always wants to be a go-to guy for them. I'm sure he'll be calling for the ball even more in this half.
And so George will bring it up for the Jazz. They trail by 1. So the Jazz 5 right now. Lauri Markkanen out there with Jusuf Nurkic. Then there's Keontae George. Then it's Sviatoslav Mikhailuk. And it's Sensabaugh in at the shooting guard position. And last season, the Jazz with the worst record in franchise history.
You're losing with a plan, though. Utah, such a smart organization. If you're going to tear it down to the studs, do it in a good draft year.
Time now to hear from our reporter, Allie LaForce.
Thank you, guys. Kobe White becoming an offensive focal point, saying it means a lot that my coaches and my teammates trust me. The only thing that can prepare you for this is going through it. For me to become the player I want to be, I need those moments. It's all part of the learning process and the journey. Back to you, VA.
Okay, Allie, good stuff.
Taking 2 shots.
First one falls for him. And Richard, the Bulls going from playing one of the slowest paces in the league to one of the fastest.
Yeah, that's what happens when you start to trend towards youth. You got to put those young legs to use, trying to pace and space with three-point shooting.
That's also good, so he hits both free throws. Chicago has gone 3 of 6 from deep so far. Okoro outside. Pass to Vucevic. And here's Jones. 5 on the clock. No luck on that one. Ooh, nice D from George. And here in the second half of play, we're just over a minute in for the lead. Chicago with a rebound.
And the defense got away with one there. I mean, that's a shot he typically makes.
Jones against George. Pass to Vucevic. Over Nurkic. Yep, it finally drops after rolling around the rim. And that's now 10 points for Nikola Vucevic.
And he's made his mark on offense especially. They got to be thankful he's on their squad.
Here's Sensabaugh. George, a screen on White. Here's Sensabaugh. Oh, that doesn't go on the chance to tie.
That's not how you want to come out of the break. 3 straight misses. They need to settle in quick.
Here's Buzelis. Launches a 3. Rebounded by Nurkic. Jazz trail by 3. Here's Mikhailuk. Markkanen outside. There's a screen by Nurkic. Markkanen, the pass to George. For the tie. Markkanen misses.
And he probably thought he was going to bury that one.
The motor of Coby White. Grant seems to be ready to run the entire game and then some.
Oh, totally, B.A. For someone who is quick and can jump and has a strong handle, he's got plenty of stamina. And as a guard, you trust Coby will make those effort plays.
I think the defense will live with him taking mid-range jumpers, but maybe just a little bit more resistance.
White, good.
Keeping pace here. That's an excellent move inside.
George passes to Markkanen. Here's Mikhailuk. Another shot. Nice touch inside there from Markkanen.
That's the kind of activity you love to see from Markkanen. Just a great sequence.
And so Billy Donovan calls timeout. He's going to take a minute to regroup with his players. Making some changes. Smith, he's checked in for Nikola Vucevic, and Williams is subbed in for Buzelis. Pass to White. Chicago passing it around. Now here's Williams. Beyond the arc. And White, the bucket on the assist by Williams. White's got 11 points.
Love the catch and shoot approach. I like when White makes quick decisions on offense.
Now Filipowski. Here's Collier. Here's Markkanen. Plenty of space. He hits the back iron and sinks it. 16 points for him.
When guys are moving the ball, sharing it, it makes the game so much more fun, both as a player and as a fan.
Pass to Jones. Back to White. Fires for 3. He can't get that one to fall.
One reason this game is so tight is because both teams are hitting the boards with reckless abandon.
Here's Collier. Markkanen outside. Counted from distance. And it's now only a 1-point Bulls lead.
His first 3 of the half. That gives him 9 total points from beyond the arc so far.
Outside Jones. Shot clock at 6. The Bulls need to get off a shot. Williams from long range.
Oh, he really wanted that triple. Even though he missed, I really like the competitiveness I'm seeing.
And we've just finished the third quarter. What a tight game we've got going. Bulls out in front. They're up by 1. And we're coming right back. Be sure to stay with us as we get set for quarter number 4. All right, let's take a look at our assist of the game presented by State Farm.
And the winner today coming from an unlikely position. It's the big fella with the sweetest pass of the day.
I feel like we've seen more slick passing big men in the league today than we've ever seen.
Well, what a terrific game it's been so far, with this fourth quarter sure to bring more pressure-packed basketball. It's Williams and Vucevic at the 4 and the 5. Kevin Huerter out there with Javon Carter, and it's Dosunmu in at the 3. So that's the 5 in the game for Chicago.
Look, Vooch is a big man that can score at all 3 levels. And look, his versatility makes him a nightmare for defenses.
Here's Collier. And he got the whistle on the way up, so he'll be headed to the line for a pair. That one on Huerter. And a moment here to take a look at the scoring breakdown for the Bulls.
They've been hitting consistently from mid-range all game. It's been a big part of their offensive production in this one.
We also got to highlight how on fire they've been from three-point land. They've continued to capitalize from beyond the arc in this one.
And he makes a first. Richard, it's been a dry spell for the Bulls for a few seasons now. How do they reverse that?
Well, it starts with strong drafts. They haven't had a top 10 pick since 2020, and it's made it hard for them to land some of these bigger prospects and grow from within.
Both good from the line that time. Chicago leading. Up top, Vucevic. Inside. Now here's Huerter. Defense is right there. Good on the bucket. And the Bulls lead by 3.
This is when your interior D has to be on high alert.
Here's Collier. Oh, and makes it with the kiss. Collier's got 4 points this quarter.
And you want him taking good shots at this point in the game. And that one was easy.
Yeah, it's clear why they go to him in these moments. They know he's going to deliver for him.
Now here's Vucevic. Shoots over Filipowski. Misses with the fallback, Jay.
No clue how he misfired on that shot. You don't see that from him very often.
Back to George. Pass to Bailey. Here's Hendricks. To the paint. Tipped. George against Carter. And we're about 2 minutes into the fourth now. Now Vucevic, covered by Filipowski. A throwback possession, 2 points.
On the interior, Vucevic, this man has so many moves to account for.
And so Will Hardy calls for the timeout. No doubt he's going to utilize the opportunity to make sure they're all on the same page here. For Chicago. Luz Ellis is checked in for Williams. Okoro comes in for Dosunmu. White, he's checked in for Huerter. And it's Jones in for Carter. And a new group getting ready for Utah. Yusuf Nurkic, he's checked in for Filipowski. Markkanen comes in for Hendricks. Mikhailuk's checked in for Bailey. And Sensabaugh subbed in for Collier. And keeping us updated from the sideline, Allie LaForce.
over that last break, I got a chance to hear what Will Hardy said to the team. He told them, this is the passion I want us to play with every night. Now my question is, how are we going to finish? Are we going to be passive, or are we going to take what's ours? Guys, back to you.
Allie, thank you. Vucevic outside. Oh, touches it off the glass.
He's been in the league long enough that late game moments do not scare Nikola Vucevic.
Marking it outside. To take the lead. No good. Chicago leading. Okoro up top. Floats one up. Oh, it doesn't go. Utah's got 6 out of 15 threes so far in this game. A bit under 3.5 minutes have passed here in the fourth.
Oh, my. The experience coming into play there. Nurkic showing poise, draining the big-time shot.
White with a screen on George. Vucevic fires. Rebounded by Markkanen.
Even though he had space, there is never an easy fadeaway.
He shoots. And that misses. That would have put him up.
Really thought he had this one, and the defense, they were giving it to him.
White. Money from 3.
A huge moment for Kobe White. Exactly what the team needed there.
Jazz trail by 3. Marking it outside. Now George takes a 3. Oh, it's off.
And he almost made them regret defending him so loosely.
Jones feels it out. Here's Vucevic. Jones outside. Puts up the tray. It's off.
And this is so critical. They now have to score every trip up the floor.
Pretty much, they have to be perfect the rest of the way. That puts tremendous pressure on your offense.
And they commit an intentional foul. We'll see another one of those, so they get into the penalty.
Getting a little desperate at this stage. I mean, the clock's the big factor.
And now they decide to foul intentionally.
First personal foul. Second team foul. At the line for 2, Trey Jones.
Shooting 2.
First free throw is good, and that gives him a 4-point cushion. And the second free throw, no good. Tough break there. And Utah calls time here. They're behind by 4. What do you think is going to be their best move at this point?
No doubt. They've got to get a quick bucket here.
Yeah, it has to be fast. They got to take the first good look they get.
right here, they can't waste any time.
It needs to be a quick shot and a quick foul.
Oh, the shot is off. And an intentional foul there stops the clock.
Second personal foul.
And he misses the first one. Boy, he wanted that one to go.
At the line for the Bulls.
That's good. Going 1 of 2 from the line. And that puts him up 5. The triple drop.
Man, where's the effort on the defensive end? You gotta play harder than that.
Yeah, these teams have kind of decided to fight this battle on scoring alone. There's not that much intensity on defense.
And they foul intentionally. That's what they have to do at this point.
First personal foul. 14th foul. At the line for
He gets the first, and that makes it a 3-point lead. So he gets them both, and it's a 4-point ball game.
Huge moment. He steps up and sinks the final daggers.
So it's the Bulls taking the W in a close one.